let's begin today's class. Last class we have started off with the Competition Act. We looked at the various objectives, features and the background of the Competition Act, how it was replaced by the MRTP Act was first initiated, and then due to 1991 the entire economy was changed due to the LPG Act, and then we have the new Act, Competition Act in place that is governing the competition laws in our country. So let's look today a few of the activities which have been prohibited under the Act. So we're going to be studying 5 activities: price fixing, bid rigging, predatory pricing, tying, and the 5th one is vendor lock-in. Let's look at one by one. So here's a picture. If you can observe, what we observe here is that there are down, if you can see, each person that you can see on the screen is depicted as the companies. Okay, maybe the company managers or the CEOs talking. Now what are they discussing about? They are fixing the price. So one says, let's raise our prices by 20% from next month. Then the other one says, then we don't have to fight to make more money. So now what is happening here in this picture, if you can see, companies are coming together or informally trying to fix the prices of commodities or services they are selling to the customers. That is what we can observe here. So the first point we come across here is price fixing. It occurs when competitors or companies within the same industry agree on pricing rather than competing against each other. So each company's, what is the major focus? To make profits or to maximize profits. So instead of competing against one another, they all come into a common conclusion or in fixing up equal prices to make sure that all of them focus on making profits rather than competing against each other. So that is the process called as price fixing. A price fixing cartel, that means a cartel means a group of people. Here it mentions a group of companies or group of CEOs, occurs when competitors make written, informal or verbal agreements or understanding on prices for selling or buying of goods and services for minimum prices. So they just make sure that nobody is going to go below this particular price. So they set a minimum price, let's say rupees 100. So below that, nobody is going to make sure we are going to sell our commodities below 100 rupees. Nobody is going to price our products below 100. So let's keep it 100 and above. So that is a mutual agreement between all these people in the form of cartel, right? They come and agree or have a mutual understanding. Now this setting of prices can be written, it can be informal, or it can just be an oral agreement. Okay, these are just oral or informal agreements agreed upon by the competitors in the same industry or the market in order to focus on making more profits. So what is the starting point? Fix a minimum price. Okay, below that nobody is going to drop their prices of commodities or services, because in case, let's say, one commodity or one company prices its product at rupees 90, of course he is going to get more number of sales, because people are going to say the same product which we are getting for 100 rupees, which we are getting for 90 rupees, all the other competitors are selling it for 100 or let's say 110. So if it's offering the same quality, why don't I purchase it with a company who's selling it for 90 rupees, correct? So therefore automatically the other company will boost up the sales and therefore income. So to avoid that, they come to a common agreement or a conclusion that let's keep a minimum price. Below that, nobody is going to price the products or services. Hope you have understood the concept of price fixing. So here's the second one. Second picture, if you can see here, there's a tender box. We all have come across tenders and quotations, correct? Where you need to win a project right, cost of the project. If you need to win the project, you need to quote at what cost can you complete a particular project. Let's say it's a metro construction or a road construction or a bridge construction, anything, right? It can be even building a completing a project. At what cost can you complete the project? Let's say that is the tender. Now here, if you see in the picture, there are three people having three different proposals. That means each are quoting different prices to complete the quotation or to complete the or to win the tender. But have you seen the dots that is connecting to all the three people? What is in their mind? That proposal B, that is the B's quotation, is going to win. Is that clear? Which is called as bid rigging. Is that clear? Priorly, we understand or we make sure that these are the prices that you need to quote. You will quote at this low, you will quote at this and another higher price. Let's say one person, Mr. A, quotes at, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. Mr. C quotes at, let's say, 15 lakh rupees. And Mr. B quotes at 12 lakh. Okay. Now, whatever the price agreements are, finally it gets agreed to certain point. It is not a sudden agreement, it is not real, but it is all pre-planned. Who does the tender go to finally is pre-fixed. Understand? It is pre-fixed, which is called as bid rigging. What's the meaning? It is a form of price fixing and market manipulation. This involves an agreement by competitors to set a minimum or a maximum price for the products. Correct? That is what we just looked at the picture. They set a minimum, right? This is the minimum that you will start with, and this will be the minimum that you will stop with, the price that you're going to quote. So we have already people who have been instructed, or already company manages to be instructed, you will quote this price, you will quote the highest price, and then we'll lock in at this particular price, and the tender or the quotation belongs to so and so company. So it is called as a price fixing and market manipulation. But all the other people who have come to that tender, right, or to that auction, or let's say tender quotation, nobody will have the idea. We'll just know that, okay, because he has got the highest bid, he gets the project or he gets the quotation. But priorly it was prefixed that nobody is aware, which is called as market manipulation. So how do they agree? By setting a minimum and maximum price for their projects. Example, electronic retail companies may collectively fix the price of televisions by setting a price premium or a discount. So here we always find a lot of electronic gadgets that have been sold under various brands or companies, that they prefix the minimum price. So below this, no television or no electronic device is going to be sold in the market, or maximum this would be the price, so that we all are going to share the profit, we all are going to have good amount of sales. Is that clear? So that's the second concept, bid rigging. The next picture, if you can see here, you can see that one person is dominating all the other players in the market. One person's pricing has made sure all the other competitors in the market or in the same industry go out of market. That means their profits have decreased, their sales have decreased. Only reason is there is one person in the industry that has set the prices so low that the other people have lost their market. Can you see the other people sitting and worrying over there that they've lost the market? So this concept is called as predatory pricing. It is the illegal act of setting prices low in an attempt to eliminate the competition out of the market or create a barrier to entry into the market for potential new competitors. So here what we observe is that either if a company does not want to want the other competitor, it wants a monopoly kind of, I must rule in the market, it must be only my products or my services that customers must enjoy. So I keep my prices so low so that all the customers would run to my company products and not the competitors products. So automatically the sales of the other competitors will fall down. If sales are not there, then absolutely profits are not there. Correct? See, on the other way, even the new competitors, that means, see that last line, barrier to entry into the market for potential new competitors. So even though there are people who want to enter right into that market or industry, that also can be stopped by using this predatory pricing. The company that does this will see initial losses, but eventually it benefits by driving competitors out of the market and raising its prices again. So here we see, even though this company is having very, very low prices initially, and yes, because of low prices, they might suffer a loss for few years, couple of years, but then gradually over the period of time, it will drive out all the competitors and again it will become the monopoly, it will set its prices gaining again. So best example over here, we have given one foreign and one Indian example here. One is Walmart. It's a giant supermarket chain that we have already discussed. I think I've come across in the other classes as well. So here we have Walmart, lowest prices guaranteed. This is the tagline, I believe, of Walmart. So they sell products or commodities at the lowest prices guaranteed, which is affecting all the other local supermarkets. Is that clear? So that is the ideology of Walmart. Now Jio. Now I'm sure all of you are very much aware of how Jio was introduced with all its SIM card plans and the free data or the free call network policies, etc. Right? Now the time Jio was launched, or we could see numerous increase in people taking up the SIM cards of Jio just for the sake of data or other benefits that Jio offers. It completely washed away the sales of Vodafone or Idea or all the other telecommunication networks. Did you observe this? This is a live example that we have observed over the just the recent years that we have seen, that yes, the prices were very low when it was launched. Yes, maybe it would have suffered a little bit of loss in couple of years, but then even today it is still able to grab the major market in the society for itself. Understood? This method of pricing the lowest in order to beat the competitors, and of course the prices won't remain the same over the years, they will raise the prices. Now you can see various 4G or 3G plans that you can see under Jio, right? Now you will have to stick to it because it is not the same when you bought it. The price is correct. The plans or prices of policies, everything has increased or changed relative, not much shoot up, but relatively have changed. So that is how these companies who follow predatory pricing come up with such plans. Initially they may incur loss, but yes, they are one of the leading companies in certain respective industries or markets, gaining significant popularity and also market and profits. Is that clear? So that completes your third point, predatory pricing. So next up is the fourth pricing. If you can look here, we can see on the display all the Apple products, correct? These are otherwise called as products or accessories that is exclusively only for Apple iPhones or iPads or Mac, etc. All these products that Apple releases, these are the accessories which only can be used with the respective products only. If you're buying a iPhone, right, a mobile iPhone, and you want to try charging with any other company's charger, can you do that? No, you can only do it with an iPhone charger only, which is called as the concept tying. It is informally called as product tying. What is this concept? It is a practice of selling one product or a service as a mandatory addition to the purchase of a different product or services. Now, here what we call as concept tying means, now you purchase a certain product. Let's look at this example here, printers and ink. You can buy one printer, it's tied to a second good. For a printer, you definitely need a ink, correct? You must buy the ink from the same company to be able to use it. Now, this concept you can apply to many other products or services. Let's say you buy a particular car, or you only need to use a particular engine oil, only which that particular, if a car company is X, you also need to use the engine oil of X company only. You cannot use any other oil or any other accessory, because a product may fail to perform. Is that clear? This concept is called as tying. So here we have a printer. If you're going to buy the printer of XYZ company, you also need to buy the ink of the same company. It will not work, or it is in a situation that it might not give you the quality of the printing if you use any other company's ink. Okay, this is just an example. As I also told, Apple products and accessories. Now, just to give my example over here, where I was working on recording videos or shooting videos for the classes, especially for practical classes, when I just bought in a normal connector, right? In the picture, if you can see this bottom that is stretched out as a line, that's the connector to iPhone and the mic. It was very difficult because it was not actually connecting. The iPhone did not recognize the connector itself. So it was absolute waste. So we had to go back to the original Apple showroom and buy the original connector for the mic to get, or the voice to get recorded efficiently. Is that clear? So that is one such example we can relate to time. Is that clear? Hope you have understood the fourth concept. It is called as product tying. The last concept, here we can see a picture. So you can assume one to be the company, or let's say an office owner or a manager, and the other person to be the vendor, okay, who provides certain services or who provides certain goods to the office. Is that clear? So this is the picture. So you have two hands to see that. One is the company and one is the vendor. And you can see there is a lock, okay? There's a lock that is, both of them, they just can't release their hands. They have to be connected that way. That means symbolically it is representing there that the agreement of certain sale of a product or a sale of a commodity, the company A has to take with the same vendor. Okay, let's look into the concept in detail. What is vendor lock-in? Ignore that word stock, it's vendor lock-in. It refers to a situation where the cost of switching to a different vendor is so high that the customer is essentially stuck with the original vendor because of financial pressures and insufficient workforce, or the need to avoid interruptions to business operations. The customer, that is the company, is locked in to what may be an inferior product or service. Is that clear? So this is vendor lock-in. Let's look at a good example here. Let's say an office has tied up with a coffee vendor. Now you all have this IT companies, there is a coffee making machines, correct? That automatically makes machine. And this vendor requires specific coffee machines in the office that only the vendor sells. So let's say they have an X machine, coffee making machine. Now imagine there's a steep decline in the quality of the coffee that this vendor delivers. Now the machine is giving, yes, no doubt it is making a coffee, but then initially it is making a good coffee, but over the period of time, now definitely just imagine if you need to set up the entire canteen or the cafe, etc., right? It's a huge investment, and you need it's a huge contract with that vendor or that coffee making machine or the vendor. Now initially it's good, but over the period of time, very soon it starts giving low quality coffee. Okay, it's not up to the taste, or it's not working well, etc. Now, if the company has to think about replacing it, instead of company is thinking about replacing it, because the company has to incur an added expenditure, because you remember, to establish that or to set up that, it's a huge investment. So company would think twice. If I have to switch to another vendor machine or another vendor company, I'll have to incur an additional establishment expenditure, and there's a whole lot process or whole lot legal proceedings that I need to follow in order to set up, in order to get another contract and set up and establish, and there's a lot of headache that goes behind it and lot of money that goes behind it, replacing every coffee machine. So the workers in the office would be effectively locked into the agreement. So what happens as a result? Because switching will make me incur a lot of cost, what would I do as a office manager or a management? I would retain the same coffee machine with their old vendor and forced to drink the inferior coffee. You getting the example here? I do not have enough money or time or effort to replace it. So by default, I have been locked in. Okay, I've been locked in to continue the services what this machine provides or this vendor provides us. Is that clear? So these are the 5 different concepts which the Competition Act prohibits or tries to prevent in our economy. So we looked at 5 prices over here, 5 different. We looked at first activity, which is called as price fixing, where companies or competitors come together and agree upon a minimum price. Second, we come at price rigging, which is called as people agreeing upon the minimum bid or the maximum bid, whereupon you mutually know who is going to get the tender. Number 3, we see predatory pricing. One company or one player in the industry prices its products or commodities so low that others run out of their market. And then we saw the 4th product or the 4th activity called as tying, product tying. And the 5th one is vendor lock-in.